Hi everyone, welcome to this week's video. I'm finally doing another book character makeup video. So the book that I finished reading a couple weeks ago was called Picture Perfect by Tessa Bailey, and it's definitely like a sporty rom-com, little chick lit book, if you will, and I really enjoyed it. It's part of a series. And I kind of got some ideas of what the main character would maybe do her makeup like and dress like for a little sporty date. So I wanted to kind of put together a look inspired by that and then talk about the book a little bit and what I liked and what I didn't like. So if you want to see the makeup look that I create and the outfit that I kind of put together based on that character and hear a little bit about the book and see if you'd be interested in reading it, then just keep watching. All right, so as we get started, I already did my sunscreen. I used the Naturium Dew Glow sunscreen, SPF 50. I feel like that's something that the character would definitely be into, is wearing her sunscreen every day since she is outside playing softball. And then next, I'm going to use a primer. This is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. We're gonna use that because, again, I feel like even though she's more of like a tomboy, there is a scene in the story, which I'll get to kind of explaining more of the plot in a second, where they go out on a little date around town. So I feel like using kind of a simple primer like this would be something that she would use in her step. But yes, so the basis is the two characters. There's Robbie, the hockey player, and Skylar, the softball player. And so it's a little rom-com book, like I said in the intro, and she invites him to come with her back to her family's home to do this like family competition that they do every year. This is the part of the book that I found a little odd, which is why I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, because the forced proximity, the fake dating, like I'm all about those tropes, but the like environment that she created to like make that happen was a little weird to me. So yeah, her family's just like ultra competitive and have this like family contest every year. So it's like the two parents are a team, the brother and his best friend are a team, and then the daughter, Skylar, and her best friend are usually a team. But her best friend has to like back out at the last minute, so that's why she invites Robbie to be her teammate and to kind of help her learn how to be a girlfriend and like get the guy, because she thinks that she's in love with her brother's best friend. So, you know, typical storyline there. But anyway, so she's super sporty, into softball, very good at it. So then the other like weird competitive thing about their family is that the parents and the brother all went to Brown, but she didn't get in or wasn't scouted to go there. So she goes to Boston University, which like that's still a really great school, but they all like poo-poo it or something. I don't know. That part's weird too. But yeah, so that's the premise of the book. You've got Robbie, this hockey player who is kind of a player. And then you've got Skylar, who's, you know, got it together, very organized, but wants help like learning how to date and like get the guy. So they pair up, fake dating, forced proximity, let's go to the family home in Rhode Island to do this weird family competition together. What could go wrong? So again, like I said, she's super sporty, so I feel like her makeup would be pretty simple if she were to do any. So for the eyes, I'm just going to use these eye crayons from Hard Candy. I have Bubbly and Cold Brew. So I'm just going to use my finger and do the lightest one, Bubbly, first, and just do that on the lid. Not using a primer for this. I feel like the crayons kind of are the primer. But back to the book a little bit. So she's, you know, college age, I think a senior. So she's a little more mature. And then Robbie is professional hockey player, but still like the young rookie on the team. So like I said, he's kind of known as the player, but then after he meets Skylar, he kind of is like, I want to change my ways. So again, there's another trope. Guy falls first, falls fast. But he sees that, you know, she's clearly thinking that she's in love with her brother's best friend, who, by the way, the brother and the best friend are like currently being scouted to play professional baseball. So like what the heck is up with this family? Like that's unfair that an entire family and group of friends can be like, oh, we're all like pro athletes in all these different sports. So that must be nice. Everybody's fit, everybody's making money, having a good college experience. Okay, so there's that. And I'm just gonna put cold brew in the crease, and then I might try and blend that out a little bit with a brush. So yeah, so then she makes a little like training schedule for her and Robbie as they're like driving down. So she's like, here's what I want you to teach me. And you know, this is a Tessa Bailey book, so things can kind of get a little spicy and graphic. So I won't say specific things, but you know, she wants to learn more about, you know, kissing and making out and what's next after that and like how to keep the guy interested and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, so they go there, he meets her family and he's like, okay, this is fine, but also weird that your family is like this ultra competitive. And he sees how, you know, it does bother her that, you know, they go to the house and like everything in the house is like brown, 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 brown. The parents are wearing brown stuff and there's like not a single thing that even acknowledges that she goes to a different college. So he kind of sees that, takes mental note of that. So that's good. And then also during this, she's still kind of focused on the brother's best friend and being like, okay, I just want to like spend time with him and talk to him and blah, blah, blah. And he seems to kind of be giving her weird vibes too. So we still don't know, like, do they like each other? Is that really what's going to happen? We don't know. So they start the competition. I'm going to use a cream bronzer. This is one from e.l.f. Is this in Tan Lines? Yes, Tan Lines. So actually think I'm just going to use like a beauty blender and kind of do it this way. Keep it simple, because again, we'll do a little bit of like a tinted skin thing on top, so we don't have to make it be like perfectly blended in because we're gonna put something on top. But yeah, so then they do these like competitions, like a swimming race and like they have to climb like a rock cliff or something at some point. I don't know. It seems kind of intense. Like I am all about being fit and healthy, but like that would drive me insane if my family was like that. And it just seems also really weird that her parents are like so into it. But anyway, like I said, that's the main part of the story, which I know is a huge part. It's like the whole premise of how they are being forced together and interact with their family. But that whole part, like of the weird family competition, is when I was like, yeah, I'm not really buying into that part of the story. So we're going to give it 4 out of 5 stars for that. But throughout the book, like they obviously grow a lot closer because they have this forced proximity and she's like talking to him about her feelings for brother's best friend and like what that means to her. And you know, they've all known each other for so long, so that's why she thinks she feels this way. And so he's just like, okay, like I really like her, but clearly she's not feeling that way about me, so I don't want to ruin chances or ruin a friendship, so I'll just kind of try and help her as much as I can and like see how it goes. So if anything, he kind of ends up almost maturing like rather quickly, which again, it's not like unbelievable, but I sometimes struggle in rom-com stories where it's like the guy has like one interaction with the girl and then he's like, that's it. She's for me. So I don't know, but yes. So then they practice. I think the first thing they do one day is they practice like kissing and making out. And so, you know, shocker, they both really enjoy it. And I think that's when she kind of starts to question like her feelings too. She's still all about brother's best friend. But then she's like, well, that didn't feel bad when we were kissing, so that's something. I must not be that bad at it. And he's like kind of teaching her how to flirt and do like pickup lines and start conversations and be flirty, blah, 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 which she doesn't really seem to be that bad at that either, but she thinks she is. So really, he's just kind of helping her build her confidence. Oh, I didn't say what I was using. I'm using the Glossier like Skin Perfecting Tint. I'm actually almost out of this, but again, I feel like this super light coverage. It's just a skin corrector. I feel like that's something, you know, light and easy. A sporty person is not going to be out wearing like some full coverage heavy, thick makeup. They still want to be breathable, but then like, you know, maybe even out. So yeah, so they're doing the family competition, and then like randomly, like he has to go back to Boston at certain points to like go to practice. And so, you know, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So he keeps having these like feelings and thoughts. And so then on one of the trips back, he like has his like epiphany moment where he's like, okay, I need to like get my stuff together, start acting more mature. I would like to be in a serious relationship. I need to not be like playing around as much. So he's back. He goes back to his apartment after practice where his roommate is like throwing a party. And of course, lo and behold, that's the exact moment that Skylar calls him, and he answers, and she hears girls in the background and his friend being like, come in here, there's whipped cream and stuff like that. So then, you know, we have to have that miscommunication moment. That always happens. And that one's not the worst one, honestly. Like that one makes sense in the moment. If you're feeling vulnerable, you're thinking that you might start to be having feelings for a guy, and then you call him to be like, I miss you, and then you hear girls in the background. Like, of course, you're not going to be as logical or rational in that moment, so you're gonna think the worst, I think, if you're having trust issues. So she hangs up and she's like, oh my god, that sucks. So then brother's best friend is still there. They're all together at her parents' house. Robbie's in Boston for practice. Brother's best friend is still at the house with her. So then, well, next I'm going to do some powder. I'm going to use my Kosas Cloud Set powder. Again, I feel like just as kind of like a cleaner makeup brand, that would be something kind of lighter, more sporty to use. Plus, I just love this powder. This is the mini size, by the way. So then brother's best friend is still there, and he's like, hey, do you want to go on a drive with me and like get a drink? Let's check in on your best friend who had to back out at the last minute, see what's going on with her. So she's like, sure, sounds great. I don't like Robbie anymore anyway, so now I can just focus back on brother's best friend and like getting him. So they go to, instead of going to a bar, they go to like a strip club, which I guess is where her best friend works and like owns a strip club. So also random. Don't know if I love that plot line. But they go there, and then like they have a weird interaction with her friend. Like clearly she's struggling. This is kind of the introduction to the Friends storyline. She's struggling, trying to save her business, has just become like a caregiver to like her niece and nephew. It's like a lot. So I was like, again, not loving that that was just kind of thrown in there. But then her and brother's best friend have like an interaction. And that's the first moment we were like, oh, I think that the two friends like each other. And I think she has that light bulb moment too. She's like, oh, he doesn't really like me that way. They clearly have something going on, but she's my best friend, and I didn't know that that was going on with them or what was going on in her life. So like, I need to take a step back. All of this is going on. After she had hung up on Robbie in Boston, he's like, oh crap, I gotta get back and explain this. So he's like driving back really fast. And of course, the moment that he pulls into the driveway, I think, is when he sees them together and assumes the worst. So again, we have another miscommunication. I'm going to do a light blush. I'm going to use my Rare Beauty Nearly Neutral Cream Blush. And again, I think I'm just going to use a little beauty blender sponge moment to just kind of lightly tap that in. But yeah, so then they just kind of have that moment. They have a little argument in the bedroom, blah, blah, blah. And then I might be going out of order. I don't remember if this actually happened before or after this. But then the next competition is like a swimming competition. Like, I don't know where these people are finding these like locations for this weird family competition, because they go to this like lake or something, and apparently the water is like freaking freezing. So I'm like, this sounds safe. Like, oh, let's just all swim across this random half frozen lake for a weird family competition that means nothing. But anyway, so they're like, okay, that's what we're gonna do. So they started going. Skylar jumps in. It's super freezing cold. She like freezes up in the middle, gets a cramp or something. I don't even know. Robbie has to jump in and save her. And so yeah, that's kind of a moment for both of them where they're like, oh my God, I actually really care about you. I don't want you to drown and die. And also you care about me because you came out and saved me and nobody else did. So like, that's great. So they do that, and then as he like drags her back to shore and everyone's like, oh my God, are you okay? They all have this like family come to Jesus moment, where Robbie just like loses it for a second and he's like, this competition is ridiculous. Like, she doesn't even want to do this really. That's what she told me, but she does it because she thinks that's what you all want. You put so much pressure on her to be competitive. She's at Boston University, like first string on softball team, being like recruited for like, what more do you want from her? Why do you not even acknowledge that? And her parents are just like, what? Yeah, so it's just kind of like that moment. So then he like whisks her away. He's like, we've got to get you warmed up. Yeah, so then that's kind of the moment where they're like, okay, now we like each other. And that's when they like go on their little date around town. So that's kind of the makeup look that I'm thinking that she would do for that. They're both kind of in that, you know, lovey-dovey, oh my gosh, I actually like you, I'm over the other person phase. Okay, so we've done that. Oh yeah, keep it simple. Brows, just gonna use a clear brow gel. This one's from Kosas. You could use a tinted one if you wanted. I'm just gonna do clear because as we all know, I hate doing my brows. So we'll just do a little clear action. Set those in place. So yep, they're having a good time around town. And this is where I might have gotten the plot mixed up because I did read this book a couple weeks ago. So maybe after this date is when they're feeling good and then she had called him, like he leaves and then she calls. I can't remember. That happens at some point regardless. But he comes back. I think he does go back after this for another practice, and then he comes back and he's bought Boston University t-shirts for like the whole family and is like, we're all going to her first big game, right? So at this point, the family's like more on board. They've been like, yes, we realize that we have been too competitive and we have not acknowledged that we are proud of you and blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of a nice moment for her and her family. I'm just gonna do some Maybelline Colossal mascara. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'll end the synopsis in case you want to read it and get to the ending yourself, although the ending is probably a little predictable, whatever. But I also wanted to say this is part of a series called the Big Shots series. So each book has kind of been about a different set of people, but they don't all intertwine. Some of them do. The first one, I guess they do. The first one was about golf, which I actually really liked that one. I think out of the 4 that have come out in this series so far, that's my favorite one. I think I did give that one 5 stars. So that one's about golf. So there's the guy that's the golfer and the girl that's like his caddy and helping him. And then in the end of that book, we meet her kind of friend who's about to like move to, I think they're all in Boston, move to Boston or something. So that she's like, oh, you're moving to Boston. I know somebody that you can like nanny for or something or whatever. So then that's the second book. It's that girl and she becomes the nanny for a guy who's on this professional hockey team. So that's where the hockey comes in. So then the third book is about another player on the hockey team and his little love affair or whatever. That's my least favorite one. That one like does not work at all for me, but maybe it would work for you. But yeah, the third one is probably my least favorite so far. I think that one was called Dream Girl Drama. And it just like did not come together for me. And then this is the fourth one, Picture Perfect. I liked this one a lot more than the third one. And I felt like the characters were just like a little smarter, making better decisions. There was growth throughout. They become closer. They become more emotionally mature and like expressing themselves to each other and getting closer. That's what I always like to see in these books. Let's end the look with a little light lippy. I'm going to use my Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump in Primrose, just for a little wash of color. And then there is going to be a fifth one, which I can only assume is going to be about the 2 friends from this book, because it's something about like catcher. The title's like catcher of something. So it's clearly going to be about baseball. And she's set up, you know, her best friend in this book and the brother's best friend in this book clearly know what's going on with each other, maybe have feelings, something's happened, we don't know. But that's been set up. So I think that will be the 5th book. Okay, so that's kind of the completed look. There's really not a lot going on, but again, the girl, Skylar, in this book, she's just like super sporty, seems like she's got things under control, is very organized, and is not super high maintenance. So I can only imagine that if she's gonna go out on a little date, that it would be a really simple makeup look like this. So actually, let me go change my outfit into something that she kind of did wear in the book, and then I will show it to you. All right, so I changed into the little outfit I think that she wore, or like kind of wore in the book. And I think that she would keep her hair simple, probably like a little braid. I think maybe she French braided it in the book. Very simple jewelry. And then maybe like as a little body mist, she would do something. So I have this Frenchy body mist that you can get at Target. And this is the Palo Santo Sage scent. I've also gotten like the pink one, which I really like. So that's usually all I do. But then now I will show you the little outfit. So in the book, she says that she like went to the back of her closet and pulled out a little tennis dress that her mom had gotten her for like Christmas or something one year that she'd never worn. So I have kind of a sporty dress. These are very popular right now. And so I wanted to show it to you, and I just have some little Adidas sneakers on, but I think this is like pretty spot on of what someone like her would wear on a little date. So it's just, I have this blue color. It's just this little athletic tennis dress. The back is super cute. And then, yeah, I've just got it with my little Adidas sneakers. I will link all of this below. And the best part about this is that it has little built-in shorts. So even though it seems short, there are shorts underneath. You are protected all the way around. But yeah, it's just like a cute little tennis dress. So I just totally think that that is something. It's pretty close to what I think she wore. I think she said in the book maybe hers was like white or something. Like, I'm not about to wear like a full-on white dress. So that is it for the video today. I do always feel like my book review and like book character makeup videos are a little rambly, and I don't know if I do the best at like summarizing the book, but I want to give you like a sense of what it is and what the characters are like without telling you the entire story, because in case you're interested in reading it, I don't want to tell you the ending or spoil it too much. I like it when people kind of make their own opinions about characters and read it in their own way. That's what I like to do. I don't usually read book reviews before I read a book. I will read maybe like a really basic summary, and that's it. And then I can kind of make my own decision and have my own thoughts as I'm reading about the characters and what's happening, not based on what somebody has already decided, if that makes sense. Yes, I will link what I used below as best as I can for the makeup, and then I will link this little tennis dress, this little sport dress. I got it from Amazon, and then I'll link my Adidas shoes as well. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure and check out my other book character makeup videos. I will have that playlist linked below. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you are updated of all of my upcoming videos, and I will see you all next time. Bye.